Episode 514. After hearing about the previous night's disastrous experience, the relief crew didn't dare slack off. Meanwhile, the personnel being replaced off the line shot them looks brimming with pure envy and resentment. They figured EQ must be resting now. With Lord Grimm offline, everything would return to peace. How wonderful that would be. In that moment, all the top players understood what simple happiness truly meant. The relief shift logged in and kept playing, staying on high alert. They also figured Lord Grimm would probably be logging off soon, so they kept checking in on his status. 1 hour, and he was still there. 2 hours, still there. 3 hours, and he was still going strong. The new guy on duty kept scanning the water in all directions until his eyes blurred and his arms ached. Lord Grimm, however, stubbornly refused to log off.
Did anyone spot him?
No. If I had, I'd probably be dead already.
Yeah, not seeing him is a good thing. If you saw him, you think he didn't see you?
Not necessarily.
Then go try it. Look everywhere, you're bound to bump into one eventually.
He's still around, right?
Lord Grimm wasn't spotted all morning, but he was the talk of every guild. The relief shift waited and waited, watching with bated breath until their own shift ended, but Lord Grimm never logged off. After their break, the guild leaders returned to work. The news they received weighed heavily on them. After sharing their intel and learning that no one had been attacked during that time, they were still left wondering, was it just a lucky break, or was there something more sinister at play?
Maybe he's already gone to sleep, and just left his character logged in to bluff and put pressure on us.
Damn, that's dirty.
The players who were usually rude to Yi Shu, the ones who looked down on him, were generally from tyrannical ambition.
In that case, he's probably up by now too.
The group fell silent.
He's definitely up.
The 361 Guild sent a frustrated emoji.
One of our guild members just got killed.
This is impossible to deal with. How are we supposed to know when it's really him and when he's just AFK?
If he's just standing there, it could be a trap to lure us in.
Oh, for the love of, will some great god please descend and take this menace away?
The players from all the guilds were in tears. Facing a situation where they might not suffer any real losses but would have to endure immense psychological pressure, the various guilds held mobilization meetings. They gathered their elite players from the 10th server and emphasized the need to face hardship without fear, withstand the pressure, and persist in leveling up. We will never compromise with the terrorist Lord Grimm. We will fight him to the bitter end. The meeting's reception, however, was lukewarm. The pressure, the tension, the sheer exhaustion, these were burdens the guild leaders had never truly shouldered before. What they cared about was the end result. When it came to the hardships along the way, all they could offer were empty platitudes about perseverance and grit to keep everyone motivated. If this weren't a club guild, no one would have put up with him. It's just a game, something to relax and enjoy. Who would fight that hard, or even risk their life for it? But at the level of a club guild, the game is no longer just a game. It's a career. It's a goal to strive for. While the guild leader's pep talk didn't exactly light a fire under anyone, it did make his stance and overall strategy perfectly clear. The elites had no choice but to grit their teeth and follow orders. Over on Happy's side, Yi Shu got up and took over for Chen Guo. That morning, Chen Guo hadn't managed to kill anyone, but she had still gained a decent chunk of experience from her leveling. As soon as Yi Shu put it on, he sprang into action. He moved around while grinding, and soon ran into a 301 player who was leveling. Naturally, he showed no mercy and wiped them out. Tang Ru got up not long after Yi Shu. Instead of logging into the game, she went to the front desk to take over the cashier shift. Yi Shu took one look and froze. I've been so absorbed in building up the guild these past few days, I kept feeling like something was off. It was only when he saw Tang Ru going to the front desk to take over her shift that it suddenly hit him. He hadn't shown up for work once since getting back from the All-Star weekend. Yi Shu broke into a cold sweat. He shot a glance at Chen Guo beside him. She must have known he hadn't shown up for work these past few days, yet she hadn't said a single word about it.
I mean,
Chen Guo turned her head.
who's been on the night shift lately?
None of your business.
Chen Guo, however, was direct.
Well,
Building the guild, forming the team. That's your job.
Chen Guo said, clenching her fist.
What? You look like you're not too happy about it.
Chen Guo finished speaking, then shot a sidelong glance at Ye Shu, who stood there silently as if he had something to say.
nothing much. Just think you got a great deal.
Me? What did I gain?
Working the night shift as a net admin, that pay was about right. But now you want me to do this kind of work? That's not my pay grade.
You're really pushing your luck, aren't you?
Ever since learning Yi Shu's true identity, Chen Guo's tolerance for him had noticeably increased. Many things about him became easier to accept, and she hadn't lost her temper at him in quite a while.
Isn't that right?
Chen Guo paused for a moment, then thought it over. She realized Ye Shu's words were actually correct. As the saying goes, every trade has its master. This is a top-tier god of the glory circle. If he were just a regular internet cafe manager, that standard rate would be perfectly fine. But if he were to play glory, that's where his true value would be shown. His worth would be a whole different story.
Well, what do you want to do then?
The idea of treating Yi Shu like a full-fledged pro gamer made Chen Guo a little uneasy. She wasn't sure she could handle that.
Nothing much, just saying.
How about a raise?
Chen Guo said this without much confidence. The salary Yi Shu was earning now was just that of a regular internet cafe manager. Even if you multiplied it by 10, it still wouldn't match the status of a top-tier professional player.
Oh, no, it's fine. Room and board are covered, it's great.
Yi Shu nodded as he spoke. Chen Guo saw that Yi Shu was already focused on the game again, and for a moment she didn't know what else to say. She turned back to the game, fiddling with it for a moment before it finally clicked. From the way he'd spoken and what he'd meant at the start, he must have skipped work for several days in a row. That's why he was feeling awkward about it. Wait, how did a few words from me end up making it sound like I was the one keeping him from work? Oh, and now I'm the one who took advantage of him.
Oh, another one.
Chen Guo was about to speak when Ye Shu's excited shout from his side cut her off. She hurried over to look at his screen. Lord Grimm was heroically charging toward a distant figure leveling in the water. But as the distance closed and Ye Shu saw the character's ID above its head, his expression fell.
No, it's not.
12 guilds were leveling in Thousand Wave Lake. Excluding the 2 that were no longer part of their roster, there were 94 players left. But not all of them were on Yi Shu's hit list. For instance, those who hadn't participated from the start, and guilds like Bluebrook Pavilion and Tyrannical Ambition who'd already paid their protection fees, Yi Shu naturally wouldn't lay a finger on them. This one here isn't the target.
It's going to be tough to run into someone this way.
Exactly.
Yi Shu said, pulling up his friends list and clicking on Blue River.
Hey, any news?
What's going on?
Blue River punctuated his words with 3 exclamation points to emphasize his tone.
Any sign of the target?
What target?
You know what I mean. This is clearly good for your guild. What are you hesitating for?
Blue River was feeling pretty frustrated and aggrieved. Logically, this should be a huge benefit for my own guild, so why do I keep feeling this stubborn, guilty resistance?
Look how cooperative Tyrannical Ambition is being.
As he spoke, Ye Shu was already steering Lord Grimm back onto the road. He hadn't sent that message to Blue River alone. He'd sent an identical one to Tyrannical Ambition's Night Tide Cold Abyss as well. Cold Night River was far less principled than Blue River. He quietly gave the heads up to all the elites leveling in Thousand Wave Lake. Upon receiving Yi Shu's message, he first expressed some regret.
So, you weren't around this morning, great god? We had at least 3 pieces of intel this morning. What a shame.
And now,
Just one.
I'll go.